But first, after much back and forth, President Trump signed an executive order yesterday imposing 25% tariffs on all automobile imports to the U.S. The deep integration of the North American car industry has left many unanswered questions about how the duties will impact Canada's auto sector. But candidates in the federal election have been quick to promise action. Liberal leader Mark Carney called the move a direct attack yesterday and now has plans to speak with the president. Tessa Bennett joins us in the studio with the top story for us tonight. Tessa, what do we know so far about the impact this will have on Canada?
Manisa, many details are still being ironed out as the auto sectors across Canada, the U.S. and Mexico are very intertwined. What has been made clear is that 25% tariffs on autos are coming next week, and vehicles made under the North American Trade Pact are not fully exempt.
Yesterday, in the latest salvo in his trade war, President Trump again imposed unjustified tariffs on our nation in violation of our existing trade agreements.
President Trump's automobile levy is the first to hit Canada since the federal election was called last Sunday, quickly becoming a top-of-mind issue for candidates and Canadians alike. Trump signed the 25% tariff order yesterday, set to come into effect April 3rd. A fact sheet provided by the White House stated any autos imported under the Canada-US-Mexico trade agreement would only be tariffed on the value of its content not made in the United States. Those vehicles won't be facing this latest round of import taxes until Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick establishes a process to apply tariffs to their non-U.S. content. Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis shares all fell significantly after Trump signed the order, as investors weigh the vulnerability created by the tariffs.
I think having only a portion of the car attract the tariffs as opposed to the entire car is better. Softening the blow, I mean, this is still going to be difficult. It's still it's still a direct attack on Canada's automotive industry.
There did not appear to be any long-term clause or exemptions for vehicles made under CUSMA rules, with Trump saying the tariff measures were permanent and automakers would have to move their parts divisions back to the United States. But later in the day today, Ontario Premier Doug Ford said he had spoken with Lutnick, who indicated that Canadian-made vehicles with 50% or more American parts would not be facing the same taxes.
So actually doing the math is not a new exercise for car companies. However, doing this specific formula, this is new. This is very different than the way they're used to looking at the free trade agreement. And because this isn't the free trade agreement, this is a new invention where it's only a portion of the car, the U.S. portion, which will not attract tariffs.
Most of the country's party leaders campaigning to be the next prime minister have responded to this latest escalation. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre had a pointed message for Trump while at an event in Surrey, BC.
My message to President Trump is knock it off. Stop attacking America's friends. Start trading so that we can once again become richer, stronger, and more secure on both sides of the border.
NDP leader Jagmeet Singh also spoke on the campaign trail today, saying workers needed more protections amid what he referred to as the illegal trade war.
Donald Trump has started an illegal trade war with Canada, one of their best allies, for absolutely no reason.
Liberal leader and current Prime Minister Mark Carney held a cabinet meeting today to discuss Canada-U.S. relations and later announced he would launch a full response plan. He said nothing was off the table for retaliatory action and that the country will need to learn to succeed in a drastically different world.
We will create an all-in-Canada network of supply chains for the auto manufacturing components, straight through to Canadian steel and aluminum and critical minerals. And we committed today to create similar strategies in other sectors that are under threat from President Trump's tariffs.
Carney said today he is planning to schedule a phone call with President Trump in the coming days, which will mark the first time the two leaders will speak. He says he will make clear to the president Canada's stance on trade and sovereignty.